for being there with us on Splash 105.5 FM. I was hoping that I will take that report because I still want us to trash that issue of food blockade a little bit and then come back to the issue we were discussing with Honorable Dapo Adeshina. But at this time, we'll also allow you to call us and join in the conversation here. Reactions have continued to trail the recent blockade of food and cattle from the north to the south by some ethnic agitators and interest group, consequently resulting in an increase in price of most food items and beef in the market, with calls of criticism from some quarters. Though the retaliatory move was as a result of prevailing security challenges coupled with some ethnic clashes in the southern region. But the action and its implications on the availability and prices of meat, vegetables and other goods from the north have shown how deeply dependent the south has become in terms of food supply. In this special report, our correspondent David Bello takes a look at the current situation, underscoring the importance of a wake-up call to the southern region.
Last week, in a retaliatory effort to register grievances over alleged killings of some northern settlers and traders in the southwest, trucks conveying food items and cattle were reportedly stopped from entering Jaba Town, a Kwara State border town with Niger State, on their way to the southwest. Though the blockade had been dismantled and the truck bearing food items and cattle could have a thoroughfare into the southwest, but most traders and customers said the prices of these food products have yet to normalize.
This is crazy increase in price. Tomatoes, how many seedlings are these ones? Around 5 or 6 for 300 naira. At this time, that we're supposed to have it in excess.
The amount of tomato I used to buy before at the rate of 200 now goes for 500 naira. The pepper we used to buy for like 100 naira, 200 naira worth is now 400 naira.
We are trusting God that it will come down. We're at 30,000. That is 55,000.
I say onion. Day before yesterday, onion is 2 costs because you know they enter. If you look now, especially there's no market now. After there's no market, you don't go see the market where you carry go and sell. Market will start buying 10,000. As you reach, they go to you say 25,000, 30,000.
There had been outbursts, condemnation, criticism from various quarters as some social cultural groups in the southwest have adjudged the move a blessing in disguise, with optimism that the region will now begin to look inward and work out robust agricultural plans that would stir up food sufficiency and save the region the embarrassment of such a reoccurrence. When asked what possible lessons the southwest region could learn from this attitude of reliance on other regions for most of its food supplies, these respondents and customers in some of the markets visited in Ibadan have this to say.
Our southwest governors should take a bull by the horn, do all necessary things to boost food security. It is that the West should actually find a way of also growing their own agricultural supply chain. That's just the truth, because most of those things can grow here. We've been saying it for long. There's not now that we should look inward, not until when we have an issue. Everybody should go back to the family.
But could it be that most people from the southwest region would lazily prefer white and blue-collar jobs than returning to the farm? This don't shed more light.
It's not laziness, so I will not lie to you. I want to start a big work now. There is a particular capital required to start it. So now the capital is not available. Accessing the one that microfinance is giving us is crazy. People are taking loans, they are running into trouble. So they stop taking loans. So if fund is available, we will do agriculture. If they are sincere, agriculture is practical. It is not what you go on the TV and you speak big grammar. No.
This public commentator equally noted that with the number of agricultural research institutes in the south, the region stands at an advantage in ensuring food sufficiency.
We have a lot of research institutes that can promote our productivity, farm produce, that can make them efficient for our consumption. I still believe we have all it takes to provide and produce the things we need. There's nothing we cannot grow in this region.
Foremost legal luminary, Chief Ni Akintola's son equally called for a rethink to change the paradigm.
We discovered that practically every Yoruba man or woman you see on the street of the north is a skilled labor. It's not about luxury. We must put on our thinking cap. Our relationship with our northern brothers will be that of mutual respect. That's not an excuse for anybody to come and invade our land and destroy it. That's what I'm saying. And that is where we, the intellectuals of Yoruba nation, are feeling.
If government begins to show practical concern for food sufficiency in the southwest by providing adequate support system for farmers to access credit facilities and other farm amenities, perhaps the south might not be threatened or starved of food supply by any region in the nearest future. In Ibadan, David Bello reporting.
Thank you, David, for that report. And I'll rest it there for now. Okay, so gentlemen, this one is not just for Honorable Dapo Adeshina, but for the three of you to quickly make comments about it. We talked about what we should be doing. I want you to speak to what the governors should be doing now, Michael.
The governors should, I want to be particular about Oyo State because, I've done research about Oyo State a lot. Oyo State should have comparative advantage of some produce over all states in Nigeria. Where I think we're number one in cassava, or thereabouts in Nigeria, and so many other produce that are synonymous with Oyo State. We have not been paying attention to them in terms of research. Particularly talk about research. You see, when governors or governments say people should go back to farm, are you expecting me to use hoe and cutlass? Tunde was talking about technology. Companies, deploy drone, to do all sorts of things. Why are you not, putting money in that area? You are expecting.
So governors should get involved.
Put money in it. Get the private sector to invest. See, there are many people who practice agriculture even in this part of the country.
We spent 2 years, going back and forth about Botswana and maize.
Yes. The governor acknowledged that much that that project was an unthought project, of course. So you understand that if you are pursuing maize when you should be, consolidating on cassava, then you know that you have missed the way in the first instance.
This capital city has almost about 7 research institutes.
And the government in Oyo State is not maximizing them. The Oyo State has the largest concentration of research institutes in the whole of Nigeria. In fact, in West Africa.
It seems the government is fraternizing with ITA.
Oh, that's beautiful. And then they should extend the fraternity to the others. The FRIN, the CRIN, the NIHOT. You have them everywhere. And they will not say no to a governor in any circumstance.
So what would you be saying to the governor now? The governors, actually.
All of
in the southwest.
Well, I would have followed Michael's line because Oyo State is our own state. But then there's nothing peculiar about Oyo State that does not apply to Osun State, that does not apply to Ogun State, that does not apply to Ekiti and Ondo. Maybe Lagos is slightly different. We have the land, maybe if you compare to the southeast and the south-south, you say definitely we are in a much better position to do agriculture. We have a weather that is clement, to practice agriculture. In any case, I already said earlier that we should take agriculture from being rain dependent to water dependent, because even in Israel, where the vast area of their land is desert, they are still very big on agriculture. So technology should come in handy, and we already see the model that some private organizations, I don't want to mention names so it doesn't get commercial, are already doing it. So government should get involved, because you see the end goal is abundance of food in this region. You're not going to be able to achieve it if you don't farm. Yes, some will say, well, because of our, the high propensity of trade that we have here, maybe if you have the money in your pockets, you forget about agriculture. But then what happens when some people decide that, look, this food, I'm going to starve you of it, and I will starve you into submission. So we need to encourage our farmers. We have dams all over the state. We should put them into critical use. They come in handy for agriculture.
One of the questions we're asking governorship aspirants in 2019 was, what will you do with the Keragoj Dam? What have we done with that dam?
They seem
today?
to always refer to that dam as something useful in the area of power generation. But then
is that the only thing that it could be used for?
Well, maybe that is what they see now. But
okay.
We have a whole lot more that we can achieve with it. I'm happy that they've started. There was a virtual meeting that Dawn Commission Development Agenda for Western Nigeria organized yesterday, and it had all the commissioners of agriculture and the special advisors to all the governors in the Southwest in that meeting, where they arrived at some important conclusions. But this should not just be seen as a face that, we have overcome it, we have settled the people, therefore life has gone back to normal.
Back.
Agric should be big, and it should be seen as a big business.
Okay. Someone here says, when the Anchor Borrowers Program was introduced, those who got the loans in Oyo State refused to pay back. I'm showing you what people can do to frustrate government's effort. No matter the technology you probably employ, you will still need laborers and managers. And she said you will be shocked at the work ethics of our people as against the average Northerner, Beninois, Togolese, and Ghanaian.
I don't fully agree with that. When you say work ethics, yes, I agree that you need laborers. But the kind of our people farm. Let's not kid ourselves about that. It's not like we don't have farmers, but the kind of farming that will make food to be abundant is not the one you get. Waiting that sometimes April, May there will be rain. Let's go back there. We seem to also be overlooking the impact of insecurity on our people. You can't ask people to go to farm if they keep getting kidnapped, if women keep getting raped, and it's happening. You need to hear our farmers, when they lament. So it's going to be, the strategy has to be holistic. We have to attack it from the area of security. Our people must be guaranteed of their safety when they go to farm. You also need to make the environment conducive for them. Government needs to come in. If you ask people to go to farm, at best you're going to have peasant farmers.
Okay, so in 1 minute, Honorable Lam, Adeshina, what will you be saying to the governors in the Southwest? I just wanted to speak to them like you're speaking to them right now.
Well, thank you very much. I'm happy Tunde mentioned the Dawn Commission. The Dawn Commission has a very robust agenda for agriculture. And for me, I believe sometimes ago we were talking about diversification of the economy, and it was all about agriculture. I don't understand what has happened to the government. So I believe that instead of us relying on oil that is gradually going down, I believe the government should start to pump money into agriculture. The truth of the matter is, you can continue to give ineffective leadership, you can continue to starve people of social amenities, but when you starve them of food, it's like pushing them to the wall. They will turn back, and it might be very fatal.
Okay, this farmer sent me a message now. I lost an entire 10-acre maize harvest to local miscreants here in Amoso, Yedeji. That's discouraging, isn't it?
What?
Acres of maize harvest.
You didn't stay long enough to really understand the problems of these farmers. Yesterday I was
for that program.
I was a moderator for that program where farmers from Ibarakwa came to interact with government officials. They gave testimonials. I was close to weeping.
I saw pictures. I saw a guy who told that his hand was slit.
Exactly. These guys kept saying that the security agencies have not been forthcoming. So one of them said he had abandoned the farm. You can imagine the problem that you keep having when there's no security. Even in the northeast, you remember the 70 was it 70 people who were beheaded, and they got, and someone said that they didn't take permission.
Exactly. To go to the farm.
So I need to take permission to farm? Come on.
Okay, so you can call us be part of the program this evening, we will be willing to hear from you. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Honorable Lam Adeshina is still here with us, and we're still having a chat. Let's get back to him. Now, enough of your discussion and permutations. We're back on him at this time.
There's something that has been playing, or let me say, agitating my mind.
Yes.
When politicians, move into a political party, you get, things like, okay, I am moving with 5,000 or 6,000 of my supporters. In your case, you just quietly, went back, you did your membership revalidation. You didn't let the world know how many people you moved back with, because it's
political
also
currency.
It's a show of strength.
Yeah, exactly.
But right now, is it the time to do all of that when we're talking about security challenges? Is it the time to celebrate all
Why
of that?
not?
Why do you celebrate?
When
Not
celebrating.
celebrating.
Celebration.
You're moving to another political party.
Who cares?
And you have supporters.
Dapo Adeshina is moving.
Oh, you have
what
supporters.
we care about right now is that our people are being killed.
Women
are being raped.
You don't care
people
about,
are being kidnapped.
You don't care about your supporters.
I care about them, but you don't make noise about that at a time like this.
Okay, so
when your
asking,
people are suffering.
how many?
Politics is supposed to be about the people.
Mm-hmm.
You're using that as a motor to get into government. And if you are going there to serve the people, do you now make a lot of noise about moving into a political party at the time when the people you are supposed to be fighting for are suffering?
So in other words, I like to turn that question upside down. In other words, if if people in the party are to vote for one person as an official or their candidates and all that, what's your weight in terms of the number of people who can stand up for you in that party now? What's your weight?
I don't know.
That's basically repeating the question that
I don't know
you.
my weight until when it happens. That's when I'll know my weight. Maybe there's a congress tomorrow, a primaries tomorrow, and then maybe I participate, and then that's when I'll know the number of people. So
your Lamis group, your Lamis
you
group,
know what?
You don't have an idea of how many there are.
Well, you can't know. The same way you have the Lamis, you have the Senako, you have the PDP reforms, and you can't say that because Dapo Adeshina is the son of Adeshina, PDP reforms will not like him. Senako, there won't be other Senako.
You mentioned earlier
like
that people were coming to you to
Hold on.
that you should come back.
And a lot of them were Senako and the PDP reforms.
Hello, good evening.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you for joining us. What's the name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, Ola Samuel is my name.
Ola Samuel,
I'm
welcome.
calling from Accra Road.
Go ahead, Ola Samuel.
Yes, I can listen to Michael and his program he did today. One of the honorable was saying that they went to some country to study about cattle rearing. People in the house, the honorables, they don't carry the Fulanis along to go and study there. They went there, they say, like they just went there for fun, fruitless journey. If they want to teach Fulanis for modern way of rearing cattle, they carry them to go and see it physically like this. You see, physically. Not the honorable that will go there. Not the honorable. The honorable doesn't have cattle. And if they have a son, they don't care for them. The Fulani that care for cattle. That is that. What about these people? I can say the politicians that have to bust money. They don't go into farming. They will only go to petroleum. Every one of them. They need to go to farming. If they go to farming now, and cattle cows are eating their products. They don't hungry. They will not the right thing to do.
All right,
we cannot tell the farmers to go to farm.
All right.
Without security, killing them, killing their crops.
All right.
You cannot encourage them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ola Samuel. Thank you very much. Ola Samuel is saying that even politicians should go into farming.
If he had listened to the audio of the that honorable representing Ibarapa, I think
yes.
It's North Central or something, he related his personal experience. He says that he is a farmer as well, and he's the House Committee Chairman on Agriculture as well. So he talked about his experience with these herdsmen as well. So some of them are into farming.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
This is Oluwasami calling for you.
Oluwasami.
Yes.
Welcome.
On my program, our leaders, they need to be more proactive and very pragmatic. So all the to be pragmatic is your forum error. The whole many forum, but there is no follow-up. See, something happening here in Nigeria. All these ethnic, religious security continue. Nobody's above here. It's other part of the country. Nobody's above us. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Say nobody's above the law. All right. So 0809 155 1055 0805 699 8678. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us here.
This is Joseph Oluwasegun.
Joseph Oluwasegun. Let's go.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I want to welcome Adeshina to the progressive. I love him and I love his dad. That's number one. Number two, we all need to go back to the fact. That is the solution. I know the threat cannot last. But it's just a matter of that telling us to go to the farm. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your comment. He said he loves Honorable Lam Adeshina. Good deliberation this afternoon. This is on Facebook. Honorable Dapo Lam, how best will you handle Igogo and Sunday Igboho's issue if you were the governor? How Honorable Lam Adeshina, did you know that drug abuse is rampant among youth in your constituency? How do you think you can assist on this?
Thank you very much. I believe that as a governor, I won't have allowed the issue of Igogo to degenerate to the level that it did before Egbon Sunday Adeyemo got involved. So I believe that it was lack of action at the appropriate time that warranted that to have happened. I, as the number one man in the state and the person in charge of security, would have taken action, especially when it concerns people that are my people that I'm governor over, and people that voted for me. I would have taken action.
So you feel that the government delayed before reacting or before taking a step to deal with that matter?
Well, I think it took too much time. As much as one will not know the circumstances, but I believe that when it comes to protection of life and properties, that's one of the major responsibilities of any government. So I believe that we shouldn't have gotten to that point, especially when major individuals, top figures of that community were being killed. Action should have been taken.
Okay, the issue of drug abuse, somebody asked that question.
Well, it's not peculiar to my constituency, but you can also say that because my constituency is indigenous Ibadan, is obviously very, very popular amongst young people these days. It's not just about my constituency. And sadly, that is what our society has turned the generation next into. People have been going into drug. So for me, I believe that the onus still lies on the government to look for a way to make sure that these things are not available, and they criminalize it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Michael.
All right, so let's do governance matters now. You were in the House between 2015 and 2019. And one big question for me is that essentially why you are in the House is to represent the people, perform oversight, and also do quite a number of other things. when many people go to the National Assembly, it looks like they just forget that they are representing some people. And so what they basically do is when it's next a year to the election, then they begin to share, things. You also shared mobile phone, by the way. I hope you remember.
I shared mobile phone to people who came for a particular program.
Okay.
Not to my constituents.
Okay.
It was a competition and it was like a gift. It was not an empowerment program.
Oh, yes. That's the word I was trying to look for.
It was not an empowerment program. It was not even in my constituency. I was invited by some people who came from Lagos for a boot camp. And they trained people on certain things. And one of the things that the beneficiaries were to use was mobile phones. So I bought it for them. I was one of the invitees and I gave it to them. So it was not to my constituents.
So people know reps and senators more for sharing keke and motorcycles than for, the oversight, the lawmaking, and so many other things. And you see that if you look at the constituency projects, I have the constituency projects right from 2017 or thereabouts. You see that perimeter fencing for community high school somewhere, 4 million naira. Empowerment program for youths, 100 million naira. That's what we usually see. Why is it like that?
Well, it's because of the fact that our society has degenerated to that level. And I liken it to a student who goes for an exam. Nobody goes to an exam to want to go and fail. So there's no politician that wants to go into an election to go and lose. So while campaigning, you will meet some of these people whose only wish is to have an Okada. And you know that they have the strength electorally to deliver. So while they are talking to you, while you are campaigning to them, they request for these things. Some will request for grinding machine, some will request for sewing machine. And then, are you saying that you are going to tell them you cannot buy it and then lose the election? Or you are going to tell them you are going to do it and not do it when you get there? More so, it's not everybody that can be a politician. It's not everybody that can be a medical doctor. Some of these people just want to be entrepreneurs. Some just want to ride Okada and make 2 ends meet. Some just want to be fashion designers. So there's no way you will not do some of these things. But at the end of the day, what is important as a leader is for you to balance it. While I was there, I was doing a bit in the house. I was doing also my bit in making sure that I do some of this empowerment. I was renovating schools. I was doing quiz and debate to upgrade knowledge of students in primary and secondary schools. I was doing sports competitions. I was constructing field. I was doing a whole lot of things. I was supporting traders with grants, because there are lots of traders in my constituency. I did a lot of that. I was giving bursary to students. I was buying forms for people to go and write exams. As I was working on education, I was supporting people in other sectors. I was renovating healthcare centers. I was doing free health mission. So I made sure I balanced it. I tried my best to look at. But at the end of the day, you cannot rule out the fact that there are some people who just want you to buy an Okada for them. That's what they want to ride.
All right, Honorable Adeshina, quickly, I know Tunde also has something to ask you. And this question that will be point blank. Will you run again in 2023?
2023 is still far.
It's not too far for politicians.
2021, it is.
It's not too far.
Okay, maybe I'm not a regular Nigerian politician.
So, but
the way I reason, I'm only up today. I'm alive today. I'm praying to God to be alive tomorrow.
So you are going
Let
to
me
wait.
see the influence I've had on people today. Let me see how I can work on how I'll have more influence on people tomorrow. When 2023 comes, the best will happen to us.
Did they promise you a ticket?
No, I didn't even speak to anybody about tickets. And when you listen to the leaders that came, when I was revalidating, they said clearly that every time they come to me, I always say to them, I don't want to talk to anybody about ticket. Just make sure that people are treated fairly. That's all.
Honorable Dapo, Tunde, just one question. When you were talking earlier, you were saying that the person who defeated you was not, really basically on ground as in terms of being a politician. You just gave us a catalogue of the things that you did, including mostly empowerment.
And yet people didn't see it.
And then on election day, you were slammed. What happened to you?
Because I didn't come out with the things that I should have used to buy votes.
Like what?
The money that we spoke about.
Oh,
I didn't come out with money.
Did he have money?
Well,
I mean,
it was a major political party, and we know what major political parties did during the last election. So the truth of the matter is that election, when you look at it, you realize that it was just the two major political parties that won.
Was it fair?
I was not disappointed, because when you look at the number of votes I got for somebody on a platform that is unknown, I'm grateful to the people. I'm grateful. Even while I lost, I'm grateful to the people for giving me those number of votes.
Well, you've been out of government for 2 years now, so I'm sure that should have given you a kind of eagle eye view into what is happening, even from afar off. If you were to assess, and don't say, oh, that's for the people. I mean, we're asking you now, the present occupant of that office, which you occupied between 2015 and 2019, Honorable Abbas Agborin of the PDP. What would you say your assessment has been? Because he is your representative now. So speak as a constituent.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a constituent of Ibadan, Northeast and Southeast Federal Constituency. And my brother, Honorable Abbas Agborin, is representing me. But the truth of the matter is, he took over from me. Nothing that I will say here that will be tenable. I will still leave it to the people to judge, because they say you don't blow your trumpet. Let people blow it for you.
Has he represented you well?
So in the nearest future, I'm sure that the people will decide who was better.
Has he represented you well?
Well, that's the question. So far, I don't know. I don't think I've even been monitoring.
You don't think it matters?
I don't think I've been monitoring him. The only thing I do is when I just feel that there are a couple of things that I need to pass across to him. For example, before I left office, I had a project at Ibadan High School. It was a football field, so which I could not complete while I was leaving office. Even though it was not a constituency project, it was never in the budget. But immediately I lost the election, and I knew it might be difficult to complete it. And I didn't want it to be an abandoned project. So I put it in the budget for 2020, which was last year, and handed it over to him. So I believe that governance should be continuum. It shouldn't be about, because I've lost and everything has to go down. No, it should be for the good of the people, if truly we were there to serve them. So with time, we'll be able to judge him. Let's still give him some time. So I'm sure with time, we'll be able to judge him.
When it's time to campaign, you will not be speaking like this, right?
When it's time to campaign, I will weigh his performance beside my own. That's if I'm contesting.
But you don't want to do that.
Hello, good evening.
It's not time yet. It's not time to do that. You know that you're almost a year.
Good evening. Hello. Are you there? I can't hear you. Hello, are you there? Okay, and that's gone.
Okay, another thing I would like to just quickly ask is, generally, now there's this drive to get a lot of young people into politics, into governance. You've had the privilege of, operating both in the executive arm as, two-time commissioner, and then in the legislature, in the House of Reps. To that young person out there, thinking that, okay, how do I even get in? What's your candid and honest advice? Because sometimes when we engage in conversation, somebody will say, to go into the House of Reps, you need 2 billion. To go into the House of Assembly, you need 500 million. Let's separate the fact from the fiction.
And you also talked about what you need to win election.
Because the people that are supposed to participate are not participating.
So what do you say to
So for me, I'm one of the happiest right now, because I see a lot of young people coming into the system and not caring what the challenges are. I'm hoping and praying that more young people will come. I've gone to events where a lot of young people came out. If I was at an event where the present speaker said he was motivated to join politics when he saw me in politics. So that's a lot of joy for me. I want to see a lot of more young people come into the system because of me and come and do exploits.
Even the ones who don't have the money.
Even the ones that don't have the money,
Don't they need the money?
By the time
Don't they need the money?
At the time I was contesting, I did not have money.
You had a name.
I had a name.
How did you get the money?
My governor.
Well, it doesn't matter, but I believe that it
matter?
is because they have given the opportunity to those that are not supposed to be there. That's why it has been monetized.
So what you will do?
So when a lot of young people join the system, they will change the dynamics.
Guy collecting 50K now.
And I am sure that it will be less monetized.
Does he have a chance at all?
Who?
Somebody who receives 50,000 as a salary.
He does have a chance.
You think
if
so?
People around him support him. For example, as a councillor, if you are loved by the people, I remember back then the stories we used to hear was people used to donate money for candidates. So when you get there, you will remember that these are the people that funded you.
The candidate that gives the money to the people.
It's because of the fact that we have left the system to the people that are not supposed to be there.
We have to close this now. I'd like to thank you, Honorable Dapo Adeshina, for coming to this station today. We appreciate the fact that you gave us the honor to be here, and many thanks to you for coming.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
We wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Today,
Honorable didn't tell us his plan for 2020.
he refused.
We are going to revisit this.
We are coming.
I don't have any plan. I only have a plan for tomorrow.
Tomorrow is evasive.
Tomorrow is 5th of March, 2021.
We'll be back here. Certainly we'll be back here. Michael, thank you for coming. Today, much appreciation to you. Honorable, thank you too. And I appreciate everyone for being part of this one. The purpose is for us to look for solutions to what ails us. Amolu Seun or AKinola, may Nigeria succeed.
We're kicking some